What's up, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. Friday, we're back again with a very special tasting. So excited. El Segundo Brewing, the Meltdown. That's a triple release that El Segundo just put out this week. Power plant, nuclear power plant, radioactive fallout. Plus, I got a couple extra El Segundo beers that I'm really excited to open up. Man, I feel like I wait all year for this. Triple IPA season, power plant, El Segundo, it just goes so well together. You almost forget that we just are going through coronavirus and everything shut down when something this good happens. So hopefully all you guys are doing good. And like every Friday, head over to the beer fridge, pull out that beer, crack something open. What have you been eyeing? What are you drinking? 7 p.m. Let me know. Comment in. Let me know what you're drinking tonight. You know what I'm drinking. I'll run through it right now with you. Demon Cat asks, is he drinking all of them tonight? Yes, I am. Yes, I absolutely am. Who else is going to do it but me? What is going on? Pello Man, Fernie Pad, Javi Brews, Gordon Vance, Ian Brews Beer, Hazy Man. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining in. Pops, good to see you. Demon Cat Brewing, Omar, Evil Penguin. What's going on? So here's the lineup for today. Starting things off with a single IPA. You know, we're not crazy here. We're not going to jump straight into the 13%er. We're going with Ka-Pow. This one is 7.3% IPA. El Segundo released that last week. It is super, super fresh. Then going into Same As It Ever Was, double IPA. They released this one a few weeks back, 8.9%, got a bunch of hops in it. And that's just our warm-up, guys. That's just the warm-up for the main attraction. Then it's Radioactive Fallout, El Segundo's Hazy IPA, part of the Meltdown release, 6.5%. El Segundo, Hazy, is it any good? We'll find out. After that, I'm going to be getting into beer number 4. That is Power Plant Triple IPA. This is the main attraction. This is what everybody waits all year for. And I haven't tried this year's version, but from everything I've heard, it is once again a very magnificent beer, very well executed triple IPA. And then we're going to close things off with the big boy, the nuclear power plant. They're calling this a Quadruple IPA at 13.2%. Oh my God. I know that I've had this beer before, but they haven't released it for a couple years. The first time it's in cans. And man, I'm super excited, but I'm also a little bit nervous to crack all these open. And this is going to take some time, so I'm going to jump right into it. But please comment in. Let me know what you're drinking. I want to know. There's a lot of good beers out there. For anyone that's following us, and we release our release radar every Friday earlier in the day, and there's just so many good beers that have been released this week. So we're gonna kick things off today here with Ka-Pow IPA from El Segundo. This is 7.3%. And I got the hops here, Nelson, Motueka, El Dorado, and Centennial. And I really like this beer. This is a fun one. They kind of created the Hop Man superhero persona. You can see that right on the label there. That's battling, I think they call him Dr. Juice Bomb. So just conjuring up fun, cartoony, old school type of vibes. And, a beer's got to be fun sometimes. Sometimes you got to just put away all the seriousness and just lean into a fun story behind a beer, because it switches things up and it kind of takes your mind off all the crazy shit that's going on. So let's crack this baby open, give it a pour. Ka-Pow! Boom! So we got a nice bright yellow here. Not completely clear, but very, very chilled. Got a little bit of a chill haze on it. Super, super aromatic beer. Wow. Just everything that you want a West Coast style IPA to smell like. Little bit of tropical fruit. I got a touch of coconut on it. And there's a little bit of dankness on the nose as well. Kind of a little like cannabis-y. All right, what's going on, Mr. 2020? Ernie Gunn. Omar's drinking the Ogopogo Charlie. Nice. What's up, James Abbott? Brewer Britt. What's going on? Johnny Rev. Got all the homies in here. Boom Hut Canning. Mike Beaver. What's going on, guys? All right. Johnny Rev's still working. All right. Once you get off, you got a beer waiting for you. All right, let's crack into this beer. It smells so damn good. There we go. Revving the engines with something nice and bitter, but still has a lot of nice tropical citrus fruit as well. Incredibly well balanced. What's up, Liquid Gravity? Monica, maybe? Super clean, super refreshing. I got this baby nice and cold, so it's drinking really crisp as well. Sometimes when I'm trying to really dig into a beer, I don't want it super cold. But when I have this tasting, and I know I'm just gonna be blasting my palate with hops, I wanted to kick things off, make sure the cans were on the colder side, so that once I got to that Quadruple IPA, it wasn't like lukewarm. So yeah, this beer's just drinking really nice and bright, really light too, 7.3%. I mean, kind of standard IPA, West Coast IPA territory, right where you want it to be. This is a kind of a daily drinker type of beer. This is the type of beer that you would love to have in your fridge and be able to reach for at any point in time. You can see from the color standpoint, this is a dry beer. This is a light-bodied beer. The hops, I mean, the malt really just kind of like give it enough of the body that it needs, enough of a little bit of, sweet character that it needs, but just gets right out of the way and lets these hops shine. So Nelson, Motueka, El Dorado, and Centennial. And from what I hear, I think El Segundo, basically every beer they make, they put Centennial in it. It's kind of like their signature hop. And yeah, I think it kind of plays through. You get Centennial gives you like that nice citrus. It gives you a little pininess. I think that the way that they use it are using it kind of dual purpose as well. So bittering and aroma. And it's just a wonderful, well-rounded beer. Not too citrusy, not too sweet, not too tropical, just really right where you want it to be. I feel like this is a very delicious, modern West Coast IPA. So I'm gonna take one more sip of this before moving on, because I can't have too much. I'm just getting started here. We're just warming things up. Really delightful beer. Sometimes IPAs can really kind of hit your tongue and saturate and sit on it a little bit and sit with you, which prevents, or I guess kind of slows down the process of bringing glass to mouth and taking another swig. For me, this beer kind of is just dry enough so that it hits, you experience a very delicious flavor profile, and then it kind of goes away, and then you're just ready for another one. So very good stuff here, kicking things off with Ka-Pow. That's part of their, Ka-Pow's part of their Blue Plate series, so I think they do like one of these every couple of months, and you have the familiar kind of like blue circular pattern on the label, which means it's a seasonal beer. It'll come back next year, I guess. Johnny Rev, have you ever run into Steve at El Segundo? No, I have not. I haven't really hung out at El Segundo in a while. I guess not many people have, unless you work there. James, starting with the Radioactive Fallout. Nice. Pello Man just poured me a Burn 2 anniversary. Ooh, I really want to get that. That one sounds super good. To me, in terms of West Coast IPA, Burning Daylight is right up there with El Segundo, Beechwood, and some of the others. They're just way smaller batch. But, Brendan's killing it, putting out some really good beer. And that one sounds super good with Hop the Citra and Strata. My Pops is on here drinking the VCBC Plot Twist. I don't know if that's a West Coast or a Hazy, but hope you're enjoying it. Gotta love those IPAs. Mr. 2020 is drinking the Golden Dram. I think I have a can of that. I haven't actually drank it because I'm just drinking hops all the time. I just never get a chance to try anything different. Naughty Pine drinking the Enegrin Stimulus Black IPA. Nice. That sounds good. I saw they just released that, I think yesterday or this week at some point. I'd love to try that. I bet that's really good. All right, guys, moving on. Beer number 2. Same as it ever was, double IPA. 8.9% Simcoe, Mosaic, Nelson, Citra, Amarillo, and Centennial once again. So, yeah, this is I guess, a Talking Heads inspired beer. I don't listen to the Talking Heads or really know much about them, so this kind of tribute or whatever goes right over my head, but I'm here for the beer, so I'm just going to get right into that. This is part of El Segundo's Takeoff series, which was introduced in 2020 as a way to get smaller batch, limited release beers in cans out into the market in a way where they didn't have to kind of invent a whole brand around that beer. So, this is just an example of pivoting to the circumstances in the market, and they were able to get some really good beers out. So this is a recent release from them, double IPA. Again, we're revving the engine. We're warming things up. We're moving on up here. Same as it ever was. And we're getting a beer that's pouring much more clear and has a bit more of a gold instead of that straw yellow. So this is kind of more of a brilliant gold color. And it's looking really nice. It's looking very nice. Please comment in, have you had this beer? This is Same as it ever was, double IPA. Let's get the nose. We're getting a bigger beer. Just right on the aroma, you're getting a more well-rounded malt and hop presence. Yeah, I mean, you're getting more sweetness, 100% on this nose. Candied orange, a little bit of creamsicle, but also like bright pine sol, like bright lemon, a little bit of pininess. Not artificial at all. It's kind of a citrus fruit salad. A little bit of grapefruit flesh, like the actual fruit. Yeah, really nice nose. Good stuff. All right, let's give it a whirl. All right, yeah, once again, stepping things up a little bit. We're going from 7.3% to 8.9%. So you can taste that. That's coming through in basically everything about this beer. It's got a malt sweetness that is most definitely present, not overwhelming, not overpowering. It's got big hop presence as well, and this hop presence does lean more into like the rich and complex side of things, whereas Ka-Pow had a more simple, I wouldn't say one note, but it was just really straightforward, quick and delicious, whereas this one is just big and round, and it's doing a lot of different things to my tongue. It's salivating, my tongue's watering, my mouth is watering a little bit. So I don't know if you guys have experienced that with some IPAs, usually with bigger IPAs. They activate something in my mouth where I just get a lot more saliva and stuff like that. Just preparing me for more, I guess. Yeah, gotta rep that fluid state. Ventura. If anyone's ever been there. Pizza, beer, love that spot. What's up, El Guts Beer Flights? Conrad's Craft Beers, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you today. All right, so we're drinking this double IPA, and I really like it. I'm so glad that I included this in the tasting, because this is what my palate needs to prep myself going into these bigger beers that I'm about to get into. Boom Hut Canning, 2 weeks in a row repping Ventura County. That's right. My parents live in Ventura, so I love getting up into Ventura County. I don't know if I'd say underrated beer scene. But Ventura, just compared to LA, kind of is in the shadow a little bit, just in general. And, it shouldn't be from a beer perspective. There's just such good stuff. I mentioned the Casa Agria last week. I love Casa. They're so good. Just so many great beer spots in Ventura. I mean, I love Ventura. And if you compare like even like I guess you call Santa Barbara bigger than Ventura. I don't know. I've never like measured them geographically, but I choose Ventura and like that southern Ventura County area over most of the places in Santa Barbara personally. Then again, they're all kind of close together, so whatever. It's all good. So this is a really good beer. Double IPA. LA Draft, good to see you. Just joined. What beer did you pour first? So for anyone just joining, we kick things off with Ka-Pow. This is the single IPA. Really like this beer. Just really light, bright, dry, delicious, super hoppy. And a great place to start. Then same as it ever was, double IPA is what I'm drinking right now. Has, amped up that body, amped up that malt presence and the hop presence as well, and just preparing my palate for what's about to attack it in just a few minutes. Boom Hut, Tarantula Hill. Yeah, I love Tarantula Hill. Haven't had much Third Window, to be honest, but I know they're doing some really cool stuff. Pello Man about to drink that Casa Humble collab. Man, that's an all-star collab right there. All right, so same as it ever was, double IPA. This is a great double IPA for me because it gives you everything you want without being like sticky and sweet. It doesn't give you that like, I think that like artificial candy sweetness that I think a lot of double IPAs can give me. And then also I think the bitterness on this beer is really, really well restrained. When you're going West Coast IPA, you always have to kind of think about where the bitterness is gonna come in a hop bill. And El Segundo did a really good job. Simcoe, Mosaic, Amarillo, Nelson, Centennial, and Citra. I mean, really good combo there. Very delicious beer and just dry enough. Good stuff. All right, our warm up is now complete. My palate is nice and juicy, and I'm about to enter into the Meltdown. So first up in our Meltdown tasting, we have Radioactive Fallout. And I'm just gonna stop for a minute and just show off this can because it is one of the cooler can designs that I've seen out there. They released this one last year for the very first time and just rad. Just super rad. And I'll just give that El Segundo label a little love. Really, really nice stuff. So Radioactive Fallout was introduced as part of the Meltdown, and as El Segundo released Power Plant, several years back, they started kind of building this like mini event around it, and that's what the Meltdown is now. It's the release of Power Plant and then some of these side beers that came out of it to kind of complement it. I don't know who came up with this idea to do a single hazy, to do this quadruple IPA, and I don't know where it's gonna go from here, but it's genius. It's so good. I mean, anyone can release a triple IPA, but when you design this event around it, the Meltdown, and when things are opened up and in person, there's a big deal going down at their tap room too. And it's just cool that they pulled it off in this virtual environment. I know they sold out of some of these beers really quick, and they still are able to get these beers out in a very, very quick and efficient way to all of their retail partners. El Segundo kind of also came up with the day one concept, and I'm starting to see other breweries like kind of utilize that same verbiage. And I mean, the concept is just so cool. If not a little gimmicky, but it came out at a time where like freshness as a selling point for IPA, but really for craft beer, was a thing, and the craft beer industry had to figure out a way to how to communicate that to the everyday craft beer consumer that was buying craft beer or crafty-ish beer at the grocery store. And so that day one concept is basically packaged and delivered and, you know, gotten in your hands in that same very day. And so in these days where cans are everywhere and there's no on-site consumption, they're kind of calling it day one-ish or day one-like, or basically it's like packaged maybe the day before and then they get it in your hands. So it's, you know, negligible in terms of taste and experience, but just super, super fresh. So El Segundo really pioneering some of these concepts and putting together, you know, a kind of release package that I think is really cool. So this is their Hazy IPA, 6.5%, and El Segundo doesn't brew Hazy IPA, so it's just hilarious that they included a Hazy as part of their big Triple IPA release event. You may recall Blurred Lines, which is a kind of a hybrid IPA. Their Cerveza Fresca series, which is more of a juicy IPA, but has, you know, that haze to the appearance. I think this is kind of what they're touting as like their more of their true hazy. We shall see. Let's see what comes out of it. You know, good hazy IPA is not easy to create. So, you know, doing one once in a while can't be easy. You know, like I'm not going to have like the highest expectations for this beer, but I do love El Segundo. I can't wait to jump into it. So let's do it now. Enough of me talking, right? What's going on, Brian? Well, it's got a nice looking Merc on it. It's got a real nice looking Merc. Nick Bartuzik. I screwed up your name, sorry buddy. IPAs taste a little better a week after canning, in my opinion. You know, a lot of these breweries are pumping out beer quick and getting them into can quickly. And yeah, some of these beers could use a little bit more time. Botman, hops of atomic proportions. Yeah, I love the copywriting on the can, right? Yeah, so this hazy looks really nice. If we're just judging on appearance, I like this. I'm a little bit particular on how I want my hazy IPAs to look. I don't want too much dark haze, that like murky, dirty water type of thing. And this is delivering for me, and it's a real nice, bright, pale yellow. I really like that. And on the nose, this is this hazy has a lot of balance from an aroma perspective, because a lot of times when I'm sticking my nose into hazy IPA, you're getting really blasted with a lot of sweetness, candy sweetness, fruity sweetness. And while there is definitely some fruitiness on this nose, it does have kind of like a dankness on the nose, a little grassiness. I feel like this is gonna drink with just a little bit of bitterness. And so Radioactive Fallout is a 6.5% hazy IPA, Galaxy, Nelson, and Centennial. So with that combination, I feel like we're not gonna be getting that like candy, sweet, desserty type of hazy IPA. We're gonna get a little bit more balance in the flavor profile, and that's what I'm picking up on the nose. So let's see if that follows through. Let's see if that plays out on the palate as well. Yeah, it definitely is. So the first thing that's coming to my mind is mouthfeel and body. This is a thin hazy. Honestly, a little too thin. You do expect a little bit more heft in these beers, and while I don't like a thick ass hazy, I do think I'd want a little bit more weight to the body of this beer. And I guess I could have kind of inferred that from the way it's dancing around the glass. It's just moving and really not clinging, and really you're not seeing any of that kind of like thickness in the motion of the liquid. So Pelloman's correct, no hop burn on this. Nick is saying it's drinking more like a West Coast IPA with a splash of haze, and I completely get where you're coming from. Here's my take on it. El Segundo doesn't brew hazy IPA, so all they do really, I mean, I'd say like 90% of what they're doing is West Coast IPA, and this drink's like a really good West Coast IPA brewery brewed a pretty good hazy. That's kind of my take on it. I would drink this again. This is more my style than kind of your traditional like thicker, like the monkish type of beers. While they're phenomenal, and I think they do a really good job. A lot of their beer isn't really for me. A lot of it does tend to be a little bit more thick. So this is something that I would gravitate to a little bit more. Really drinkable. Really, really drinkable beer. So far, man, it'd be hard to say, like, out of the 3 beers I've had so far, like, what would I drink again? I really do like all of them in very different ways. Really nice beer. The flavor on this beer is delicious. I love what Nelson is bringing to the table here. I like what Nelson brings to the table in a lot of beers these days. I think I took a little bit of a Nelson hiatus, and I think the industry too. I think Nelson was a little bit harder to get, and you're starting to see it more and more now. Orange, a little touch of creaminess on it, like kind of orange creamy sweetness, but very, very little. That's a minimal flavor component here. Grass, a little bit of kind of diesel from that Nelson. Yeah, touch of dankness. It's got just the right amount of bitterness, like very low bitterness, but enough so that you know that it's there. It's balancing things out here. It's not letting anything get too sweet. Pretty cool beer. I actually really like this beer a lot. All right, guys, we're moving ahead. So Fernie Pad is drinking, what was it? The Brew West Day One versus Beer IPL. Nice. You don't see IPLs too often these days, at least in that name, in that with that label. Feels like a lager, tastes like an IPA. Yeah, I mean, I think that concept is still incredibly relevant. Even if we don't see the letters IPL too much these days, I think hop forward lager, West Coast lager, hoppy lager, that concept is very much alive. And I think, in my opinion, it represents, I think, a trend and an opportunity for growth in the craft beer world. I'm a big fan of them, at least. So if more breweries made them, I'd drink them. All right, guys, it's the main event right now. Been waiting all year for this. Every January, February, I guess every January, we all hold our breaths and wait for the glorious Triple IPA to come out. And no, we're not talking about Russian River Pliny the Younger. We're talking about a beer that is much more local, and I think for a lot of people's opinions is a much better beer. I'm not going to say one way or the other what I like. I mean, maybe that's a future episode where I do one versus the other. Actually, we will do that. But today we are talking about Power Plant Triple IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company. This baby's 11.1%. It's a big one. This is all West Coast. We're gonna get no haze on this beer whatsoever. Let's see, what do we got on the label? Anything. No, but I took some notes, and this baby is hopped with Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe, and Amarillo. So this is Power Plant's first time in cans. So let me introduce it to you. And if it looks anything familiar at all, just look in the horizon near El Segundo Brewing Company with like the power plants with like the big smokestacks with the red and the white painted on them. This is the imagery that inspires this beer. And this is a legendary LA beer. It really, really is. I'm very lucky to have it in my hands. I'm very stoked to open it up. And that's what I'm going to do right now. All right. And on the pour here, we have a really kind of dark gold, crystal clear. Got a nice orange. I don't want to say amber, but it's leaning more amber than it is yellow. So it's that gold that's like a dark gold, almost bronze. It's got a nice head sitting right on top. Small bubbles, nice and frothy. On the nose, you're getting pine, you're getting citrus. That's really the big components there. Orange, lemon peel. Super fresh smelling. Like everything's just like really bright. Not getting any sweetness on this nose. Like this is smelling like it's gonna taste really dry on the palate. Very delicious. West Coast IPA through and through on the aroma. It's exactly what you want to be smelling. For anyone that's opening up a triple IPA, you're thinking, am I going to like this? Is it going to be too strong? And for an experienced craft beer drinker, you've had plenty of terrible triple IPAs that end up being really sweet and syrupy. And on the nose, as you're kind of like cautiously digging into it, you're not getting any of those characteristics to kind of hint that this is going to be bad. And I know it's not going to be because El Segundo pulls off a really well executed triple IPA year after year after year. These are not easy to do. There's a reason why Pliny the Younger got so famous. This beer builds on the legacy that beer established and maybe takes it up a step further. So without further ado, gonna give it a whirl. Bone dry, my friends. This beer is bone dry. This has such a forceful application of hops, just like powering your mouth full of really delicious hop flavors. A lot of what I got on the aroma. There's a nice pininess to it. There's some great orange and lemon. This baby's dangerous. This is dangerous. This drinks just as smooth, if not smoother, than the double IPA that I started off with. And I'll just pour them side by side just to get a look at what they look like. So double IPA here, Power Plant Triple IPA here. A little bit lighter on this one. Show the can again. There it is, baby. Power Plant. There you go. Tasting that Power Plant. You tuned in at the perfect time. Whew. This baby is heating me up. Nick, I'm talking both, man. Body, there's no syrupiness. There's no, I mean, that's really what I'm thinking when I'm talking triple IPA. These beers, from a mouthfeel perspective, can get a little syrupy. This one is not. It's nice and light. It's really kind of, I wouldn't say it's thin, but it's exactly where you'd want it to be. It hides its ABV. And then from a booziness perspective, I mean, that's kind of the traditional reaction that you're getting right off the bat when drinking a 10+% beer, and no booze whatsoever. Like, you can't taste the alcohol in this. The next thing that you're kind of going, you're getting some color. I know, man, I'm heating up over here. It's about to get hotter too. And the next thing is the sweetness. So a lot of these beers tend to get really sweet, and this beer really holds it down. Super dry, nice bitterness on it. Man, you would never guess this is 11.1%. El Segundo has done it again. All right, guys, that's Power Plant. So if you've had Power Plant this year, if you've had it in years past, comment in, let me know. And then we're gonna get into the last beer of the day. Label look familiar? This is also part of El Segundo's Takeoff series. We're about to crack into a very special beer. This is basically the super hopped up, amped up version of Power Plant. This is Nuclear Power Plant. This baby is 13.2% Quadruple IPA. Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe, Amarillo, just like Power Plant. And then in this one, they add Nelson in. Super excited to try this. This is the freshest of the batch. I went down to El Segundo earlier in the week to pick up these beers, and this baby wasn't ready. They were still canning it, still getting it all ready to go. And so I had to order it for shipping. Luckily, it came just in time, just a couple hours before this tasting. So this baby's fresh, it is cold. Like I said earlier on, I made sure these beers sat in the freezer for a few minutes just to get cold enough so that by the time I got to this baby, it wasn't sitting there lukewarm. And as Nick says, this is the first time Nuclear Power Plant has been released in cans. It is typically a draft-only release at the tap room. This beer sold out super, super quick. It was available for pre-sale, and basically once it went on sale, it sold out within like an hour or two. It was pretty quick. So not something that I expected from El Segundo, but I think that there's enough love behind Power Plant, enough love behind the Meltdown, that they had like a mixed case pack, and a lot of people went down for that. They're doing shipping in California. It's a beautiful time to get beer, and for El Segundo, the Meltdown, they absolutely cashed in on that. So 13.2%, Simcoe, Mosaic, Nelson, Citra, Amarillo, part of the Takeoff series. Let's crack it open. Alrighty. So this beer looks very similar to Power Plant. You got that deep, deep gold, orangey gold. I'm missing some comments here. Sorry, let me get back to you guys. LA Beer Buddies, Power Plant is a staple. Yes, absolutely, totally agree. Did you guys get some this year? Pello Man shouting out 2 other breweries that make yummy, big West Coast IPAs. 14 Cannons and 10 Mile. I will vouch for 14 Cannons. I haven't had 10 Miles Triple, but I think they brew some great beer. So I will definitely look out for that. The Brewed Up podcast is in the chat. Botman picked up his mixed half case today. Nice. So what are you drinking now? I think you were drinking the Hazy, right? Heavy hitters tonight. Yes. They're hitting heavy. I'm heating up over here. Woo! All right. I'm kind of afraid. I'm just like holding this glass, not drinking it because I'm like super afraid to drink it. Yeah, Nick saying, I got all the beers you just had. Glad to snag the Quadruple IPA. Yes. Same here. I almost didn't get that one. It was like coming down to the wire a few hours ago. Hoodie's coming off. James is moving on to Power Plant. Nice. Nick's saying, who finishes all these beers? Not me. I will not be finishing these beers, but Botman70 in the chat right there. He'll be finishing all of them tonight. I guarantee it. He's a champ. All right, let's drink this Quadruple IPA, shall we? All right, gotta face my fears. First, on the aroma. Okay, so you're getting a lot of what you would expect in a triple IPA, what you would have expected in Power Plant, you're getting on the nose in this beer. Bigger sweetness for sure. And you're getting more booziness. You're getting more alcohol on the nose as well. To be expected. Not overwhelming, not astringent and harsh, but it's there. It's actually blending in really well with kind of, sweetness, booziness, and then the hoppy aromas that you're getting on this, which actually lean a little bit more tropical on the nose here. And I think just because the beer, you're getting more malt sweetness on this beer, it's bringing the sweetness of the hops more in the forefront than any of like the kind of bitter or more citrusy characteristics of the hops. Delish. All right, let's try it. It's a big boy. It's a big boy. Yeah, this is a big beer. Whew. That is hitting me. That is hitting me. Really sweet. Really boozy. Could use a little more bitterness, but it is bitter. It definitely is bitter. I don't know, man. This is pretty boozy. You're getting a lot here, and in my opinion, it's not super enjoyable. This is, I think, more gimmicky in my opinion. I would love to share this with 4 people. One can, drinking this all to myself, I don't think so. It's one of those beers that you suffer through. You're like, I cracked this open. Damn, that's a big beer. Damn, that's strong. I'm gonna like sip it for a while, and then once it warms up enough, you're just like, I can't do this anymore. That's kind of what this beer is doing. If it's cold, you have to drink this cold, I think. Like, once this warms up, it just turns like syrupy or... Whew! Wow, that is a big one. That is a big beer. Yeah, I'm blushing. Yeah, oh my God. These beers are getting to me. I knew this would happen. I knew that going into a tasting with a double IPA, 2 single IPAs, a triple IPA, quadruple IPA, it would do this to me, and it absolutely has. But I do have to finish this one out, and as always, I go through another quick tasting, real quick, final impressions, choose my favorite one before I choose which beer am I actually gonna finish. So we're going back around here. For anyone just tuning in, El Segundo, the Meltdown, plus a couple extra special ones. We started things off with Ka-Pow. Really nice, light, bright. This is like a treat compared to that quadruple. I can barely taste it at this point. The palate is wrecked. Yeah, oh my God. I remember that being delicious, and it does taste really good, but man, the palate is wrecked. I can't dive deep into any of these. Next up, we did Same As It Ever Was, double IPA, 8.9%. This is a good one. What's up, Mega Man? Yeah, I need help, man. I'm not gonna finish these. Fernie Pad, drink some water. That's smart. That did cross my mind before I started this. Like, I should bring water over here. It never happened. I chugged water before I started, and I'll chug some after. Then we did Radioactive Fallout, and we'll show that can one more time because this one is legit. The true hazy from El Segundo. This is as hazy as it gets from El Segundo. Really, really nicely done. Don't go into this expecting the same type of haze that you see from some of the big haze producers out there that are pumping hazy after hazy after hazy, mixing up the hops, mixing up the order of the hops, mixing up basically nothing. You know who we're talking about. This is a very El Segundo style hazy, and it's really good. Yeah, doing the water chugs after this. I told myself I wasn't gonna chug beer on Instagram Live because there's enough like big dudes who chug beer on Instagram Live. Who needs another one? But I'll chug water, totally. Yeah, Naughty Pan's got a good idea. I should have a guest once this is over to help me drink these. Yeah, definitely, because I pour a lot of beer down the sink, unfortunately. So this Hazy IPA was really, really good. Really like that beer a lot. Once you get past, like, this isn't the hazy that you're expecting. This is a El Segundo style hazy. Boom, I'm down. All right, then we moved on to Power Plant Triple IPA. This is the main event, the main attraction, and just a beautiful looking beer, first and foremost. And then the taste is just so smooth. Super dry, nice and citrusy, great bitterness on this beer. Once again, year after year, El Segundo executing to a T. This drinks nothing like an 11.1%. Definitely drinks closer to what you'd expect an 8% beer, 8.5 maybe, to be. Yeah, this is just kind of, in my opinion, El Segundo has figured out how to do the West Coast triple, and they've continued to execute on that year after year, continuing to build on that foundation. And this year is just a shining example. And I think I just saw El Segundo join. Cheers! Thank you for the beers. And last up, I'm gonna go back into it. You guys know it pained me. This was a hard one. But this will probably be the final time I drink this beer. This is the nuclear power plant. This is fun. This is, I guess, for me, a little gimmicky. It's just like, this is as big as it gets. You want to talk about balance? That's 99.9% of El Segundo's beer profile. This is the 1% of their beer lineup that takes balance and just kicks it out the window, and just amps everything up to like 1,000. It's fun. This is a fun beer. Yeah, and as you can see, I am experiencing the effect of these high alcohol IPAs. Good thing this is only once a year, you know? If El Segundo did this every 3 months, I think my life would be ruined. So really good stuff here from El Segundo. Yes, Radioactive Fallout is so, so good. I'm gonna do something, which beer do you guys, so comment in, if anyone's drinking any of these beers, which beer would you choose out of all these beers? Or which beer, if you don't have them, which beer do you think I would choose? I liked a lot of them. I liked most of them. So from judging my reaction, which one should I choose? Which one do you think I'll choose? Because I'm not totally sold. I'm leaning towards several of them. And it's not this one. I drank half the can. That's enough. That's enough. Put it away. I'm getting a lot of power plant here. Power plant. Yep. Power plant. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do something different than I typically do. Typically it's one beer. I'm not gonna pick one. I'm picking three. And it's these. Right there. Those three are delicious, and they're all in their own category. So single IPA, West Coast style, light, bright, deliciously hoppy. Ka-Pow kick things off. Love that beer. And then this is the Gary style hazy. This is the El Segundo style hazy. Not thick, not super sweet. Got a really nice balance. Love this hazy IPA. Going for that. And then of course it's Power Plant, like all you guys said. Of course I'm picking Power Plant. This is a delicious beer. Man, love this once a year. Can't wait to do this again next year. But I still have a lot of cans of Power Plant, so maybe I'll do some more videos. Maybe I'll jump on live. Who knows? But we're wrapping things up. It's been an hour. This is the longest episode we've done. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was super fun hanging with you guys this Friday. I will see you once again next Friday. I don't know what I'm drinking. If anyone has any suggestions, comment, DM, let me know. I don't know what I'm drinking next week. You tell me. All right. Thanks so much, guys. See ya. Enjoy the weekend.